breaking news that will affect probably quite a few of you out there, and you might be interested in knowing this, so that's why I'm sharing it with you right now. So, the UK Supreme Court ruled today that a woman is someone born biologically female, excluding transgender people from the legal definition in a long-running dispute between a feminist group and the Scottish government. Several women's groups that supported the appeal celebrated outside of court today and hailed it as a major victory in their effort to protect spaces designated for women. So what does this mean? There was a quote by the woman that was the co-director of the For Women Scotland. She said, "Everyone knows that sex is, and everyone knows what sex is, and you can't change it." This is from Susan Smith. She's the co-director of For Women Scotland, which brought the case forward. So 5 judges ruled unanimously that the UK Equality Act means trans women can be excluded from some groups, and single-sex spaces such as changing rooms, homeless shelters, swimming areas, and medical or counseling services provided only to women. The ruling means that a transgender person with a certificate that recognizes them as female should not be considered a woman for equality purposes. The ruling brings some clarity in the UK to a contentious issue that's polarized politics in some other countries, such as my own in the United States. In these Republican-controlled states over the last 4 years that have been banning gender-affirming care for minors, barring transgender women and girls from sports competitions that align with their gender, and restricting which public bathrooms transgender people can use. So since returning to office in January, President Trump has signed orders to define the sexes as only male and female, and has tried to kick transgender service members out of the military. Megan says, "I'm a trans girl. I'm so scared. Can somebody tell me what's happening?" That's what we're trying to do for you right now, Miss Megan. That's what I'm trying to explain so you guys can get a better idea. I'm going to keep it short. You can go out and look up more about it, but I'm trying to keep it concise and give you the main bullet points because I know that there's a lot. This is a lot. So, like I said, he's been trying to kick transgender service members out of the military, block federal spending on government-affirming care for those under 19, I think, and block their sports participation nationally. His efforts are being challenged in the U.S. court, as you might expect. So, back over to the UK. We're not worried about America right now. We're over here. So, Justice Patrick Hodge said the British ruling, quote, does not remove protection from trans people who are still protected from discrimination under UK law. For Women Scotland had argued that the Scottish officials' redefinition of woman went beyond Parliament's powers. But Scottish officials then issued new guidance stating that the definition of woman included someone with a gender recognition certificate, right? Well, For Women Scotland successfully sought to overturn that, and that's where we are now. So trying, quote, not trying the definition of, sorry, I'm reading the quotes off the teleprompter. So, quote, not tying the definition of sex to its ordinary meaning means that public boards could conceivably comprise of 50% men and 50% men with certificates, yet still lawfully meet the targets for female representation, the group's director Trina Budge said previously. So basically what she's saying is it could still be all men in her eyes. So there's 50% people that are born what is considered to be a biological male, and then 50% of people that are born considered as a biological male by her, but have a trans certificate. Anyway, the challenge was rejected by a court in 22, but the group was granted permission last year to take its case to the Supreme Court, which is what they did, and they ruled on it today. So the women's rights group counted among its supporters author J.K. Rowling, who reportedly donated tens of thousands of pounds to back its work. The Harry Potter writer has been vocal in arguing that rights for trans women should not come at the expense of those who are born biologically female. Rowling said that she was, quote, so proud of the extraordinary, tenacious for Women's Scotland campaigners who took the case on a year-long battle through the courts. She then went on to X/Twitter and said, quote, that in winning, they've protected the rights of women and girls across the UK. So that's where we are. What are your thoughts on this issue? Leave a comment if you want to tell us what's on your mind. I don't really have much else to say about it. I just wanted to get the highlights out so that you could get a good understanding of what's taking place.